Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. As you can see, we're going to be taking a look at my Letterboxd film diary for the month of September. So this is everything I watched in September. Movies anyways, because there's not really a good way to do TV shows on here. They don't really have very many, and even when they do, it's like specials or like stuff like that. So this is just going to be movies. In the future, I might try to log some of my TV shows and give you thoughts on those, any shows I'm watching, if anyone's interested in that. Because I do also watch TV shows. Like right now, I'm going through the Arrowverse. I kind of like on and off. Like I'll watch, like a little bit of it. 'Cause I'm trying to watch it in order with like like all this. Like right where I'm at, there's like four shows going on at once or five shows going on at once. So I'm like watch an episode of Arrow, watch an episode of Flash, watching and do it like that. But it really takes a toll when you do it like that, and it's not great right now. I'm hoping it gets a little better. I've heard mixed things pretty much for the rest of the shows, but I've stuck it out this far, and I have enjoyed more than I've not enjoyed of all of them. Here I said I wasn't gonna do this, but here I'm going. If you know this channel, I always go off on tangents like this. So yeah. Anywho, so yeah, not gonna do some super long intro here. I'm sure you guys get the gist of the video I'm going through. Showing you my rating, and then kind of explaining it. If I have something to say about the movie, I will. Um, some of these I might not remember exactly because if it's been like a month. This is a little easier because, as you can see, the first movie I watched wasn't until September 8th. But and I usually average like not that many movies a month, but I've been trying to watch more movies. But yeah, just because I've had a lot going on the last like year or two here. Like I don't watch as much movies as I used to, especially when I was like in my late teens. Or but yeah. Anywho, enough rambling. Let's get into it. So the first movie I watched of September was Hardball. Um, and if you see, the last movie I watched of August was A Walk in the Clouds. So I watched two Keanu Reeves movies. I wouldn't say back to back since it was like over a week apart, but I gave it 3.5 stars. That's about right. It was actually a really solid movie. My rating systems are kind of wacky. It's not necessarily about like how it's a mix of how good the movie was, also mixed with how the movie made me feel, like or just how because a movie can be like spectacularly directed, acted, and everything, but if it's boring and I'm just not into the movie, then I'm gonna give it a lower rating. So stuff like that. Like it's kind of just some of it's just based on a feel. Like did I like the movie or not? Even, but then you also got to give points to like acting, directing, stuff like that. But like yeah, you get how this works. I don't need to explain this to you. Hardball. Yeah, I quite liked it. I It's one of those movies where I feel like it kind of I don't want to say ended abruptly, but I had like a mini existential crisis after I watched this movie where I'm like I kind of like TV shows more because you can kind of see what was the after. Like, you watch an episode, you can watch the next episode. I mean, obviously shows end, but like, there's you can get more of a universe out of a show, even if it's one season, but especially if it's multiple seasons or like really long running shows. Where I watched this and I was like, I kind of want to see what happens after, or like, like a sequel, or like, I don't know what the sequel would be though, but like, it doesn't need a sequel, but like, I kind of see like, I kind of want to just keep living in this world of like with these characters. And I kind of just had a weird mini existential crisis at the end of the movie for some reason. I don't know. Because like looking back, there's a lot of movies like that where I'm like, I wish I could spend more time with these characters, just kind of see what they're doing, or like, and it started to make me think because I watched another movie which we'll get to later, that's based on a true story, and I'm like, I kind of just want to like dive into this true story and learn everything I can, and just more about this world, even though it's a true story, so it's a real world. And don't get me started on based on a true story stuff because I know they change stuff, and some of those are very loosely interpreted. But like just stuff like that. Anywho, long tangent. Maybe I'll make a whole video with that. Next up, on the same day. Actually, you know what? I think this was the one of those ones where I started it on the 7th at like 11 o'clock and I didn't finish it till like 1 a.m. So it's one of those deals. So it counts as the 8th, even though it was basically the 7th. But yeah, but then I watched the Hurricane Heist on the 8th. I also gave this 3.5 stars. This probably could have been a 3-star movie, but I'm kind of into these like I don't even want to say B movies. It's not really a B movie, I don't think, but it had B movie elements to it. But I really like the disaster movies, and this is like a disaster movie mixed with like action movie, which I or like kind of like a direct to DVD action feel. which I used to watch a ton of those growing up. I haven't really been too much into those, but like the old like Jean Claude Van Damme movies, even though most of those beginning ones weren't direct to DVD. But you get what I mean. I don't even necessarily mean direct to DVD. Just I guess those in general is what I'm saying. Like Steven Seagal, Jean Claude Van Damme, like all those Special Stallone, Arnold, even those ones throw in there. Like kind of just that. I don't even want to say cheesy, just like over the top, just standard action. Yeah, mixed with like a disaster movie. I don't know. It worked for me. Wasn't great. It was good, but it was good, but with a slight edge, just because I'm into that kind of stuff. So yeah. Um, and the guy from True Blood was in it. I forgot his name, which I actually like him as an actor. And Maggie Grace, who I haven't really seen her in too much, but I always like her when I do. She's never like standout performance, but she's usually does pretty solid. Anywho, The Way Back. So I watched this on the 11th. I gave this 4 stars. I quite enjoyed this movie. I liked that it was. I kind of knew going in because I think I don't know if it was maybe it was the trailer I watched or an interview or something I read where I knew it was like a sports movie, but it wasn't all about the sports, or that was kind of just the backdrop. So I kind of knew going in, even though like the cover and I think I read the description or something before I watched it, which I usually don't like to do too much. But and I bought this on DVD a while back, like for I think it was like really cheap at Walmart. It was like $5 or something. This was like kind of when it was a new release. And I'm just not getting around to watching it. I actually, sorry. So yeah, I don't know. I really like Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's honestly, I don't even want to say he's underrated because he's not underrated. He's you know, but he's really good, and the movie kind of it made me a little emotional to be honest. Which doesn't necessarily boost my rating, but doesn't hurt either. And I thought it was just a solid emotional sports kind of like look into someone's life and how certain things can affect the outcome. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go too much more into it. 4 stars, quite enjoyed it, thought it was really good. Would I watch it again? Not necessarily. It's kind of one of those one and done type movies. At least in the near term, because I could see maybe in like 5, 6 years popping it on again or something. But then the 15th, we watched American Psycho. This was an interesting one because I remember watching this. I don't know if I'd seen it before I got the Blu-ray, but I got the Blu-ray. It was like one of the first Blu-rays I got when I started collecting Blu-rays. It was probably around like 2009, 2010 ish. And I got it in a lot. I think I got it in a lot of 4. I think it was American Psycho, Jennifer's Body. I want to say John Carpenter's The Thing, the one with Kurt Russell, and I can't remember what the other one was. There was like 4 Blu-rays. Anyways, that doesn't matter at all to the story. Gave it 4 stars. It was the ending. I get what the ending was doing, but it still was kind of an abrupt ending, or like not slightly confusing, abrupt. I know that's kind of the point, but like I don't know. Like I get that it's a satire and stuff like that. It was. I still really enjoyed it. The performances. William Dafoe was really good in it as well, because I know Christian Bale gets all the kind of like all the talk, but pretty much everyone was good in it. Like Jared Leto, pretty much the whole cast was solid. Yeah, I'm not gonna go too much into like spoilers or anything or like plot. Like I said, I might do that a little bit more in the next ones. I'm kind of just this is my first time doing this, so I'm just trying to get through these to see if because like if I go through the plot of all these and talk in depth, it's gonna be like an hour-long video. This month maybe not because I haven't watched as many movies, but if I watch like 15, 20, 25 movies in a month, it's gonna be like an hour, 2 hour long video. But if you guys are fine with that, or maybe I'll release like an extended cut or something on I don't know. Anywho, yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Christian Bale's performance is stellar, outstanding. I didn't realize how much nudity was in this because I remember watching this, yeah, like 2009, 2010. I do not remember that much nudity in it, but damn. And also the violence too, but yeah, and then also the Ice Nine Kills video of Hip to Be Scared, is that what it's called? Also really good. The Covenant. So yeah, I really did not watch a lot of movies this month. Covenant, watched on the 24th. I gave this 4.5 stars. I probably could have given it 4 stars, but this movie kind of, I don't know, it just hit me the right way. Also, I love Jake Gyllenhaal. He was fantastic in this. I I forgot his name, but I really like the other. There's another guy in the movie that's kind of like a mercenary type dude or whatever. I really like him. He wasn't in the movie too much, but I really enjoyed his performance as well. I mean, even the pretty much the whole cast. But yeah, this is also like a war movie, but not really a war movie. Like not necessarily about the war itself, kind of more about like the journey. Um, I don't know. I quite enjoyed it. I don't think I've seen a lot of Guy Ritchie movies. I think the only other one I've seen is the King Arthur one, which I know gets a lot of hate. I remember that being okay. Um, yeah, The Covenant. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't really have too much else to say. 4.5 stars. It did hit me a bit emotionally, so that probably upped it. So yeah, it's weird. Like two emotional movies. I'm not saying I was like the ball in my eyes or anything, but like like it hits you in the feels. Sleepy Hollow. So this one, I just got the 4K. I actually have it sitting right here, which I did an unboxing for. I forgot about that. Maybe I'll upload that before this video because I forgot I even did an unboxing for this. But yeah, I have not seen this in quite a while. I think the last time I seen it was when I first got Netflix back in like 2011, something like that. I remember it being on Netflix, or maybe it was a different. It had to be Netflix because Netflix was the only streaming service around. I remember watching it on streaming. Um, Tim Burton, Johnny Depp. They've done. I looked it up. I think they've done 7 movies together. Danny Elfman does his music. I will say I really enjoyed it. I feel like it did drag just a little bit in a few scenes or like a few places. Other than that, really enjoyed it. 4 stars. Um, yeah, 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Johnny Depp is great in pretty much everything I've seen him in. Um, well, we'll say for the most part. I just love the whole like aesthetic of the movie and kind of I mean it's Tim Burton, but just like the fall, moody, dark, goth, whatever you want to call it, gothic aesthetic, and just the tone of the movie. And honestly, the practical effects were pretty good in this movie. Some of them were a little unrealistic, but like still like in a good way. Like if that makes any sense. Anyways, I'm starting to ramble because I don't have much else to say about the movie. But there you go. Then the 30th, I watched Friday the 13th. And I'm just gonna pop this up because let me see if there you go. I actually watched both of them on the 30th, with a group of friends. So we watched part one and part two. So I gave part one 3.5 stars, part two 4 stars. So I remember both of these being, because I've seen these countless times, probably over 100 times a piece as a kid to like young teenager, but I haven't really watched them too much like super recently. I remember always not being huge on the first two, especially the first one, but rewatching them, they're both pretty solid. I mean, for that type of movie, I don't remember the cast being as, I don't want to say as good because it's not like they're giving like great performances, but like I remember just like kind of the Friday the 13th cast being disposable, but everyone kind of did their role for what their role is pretty well. I don't know if I just was like, also was watching it with a group of friends, so it might have made it less boring or whatever because we're kind of like talking while it's going on. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see how I feel about because I think we're doing part 3 and 4 next. Because we kind of did like a double feature. I think we're gonna do part 3 and 4 next. So interested to see how that goes because I remember part 3 being like probably my least favorite, maybe out of like the first 8, if I'm being honest. Even under part 8. I don't know. I kind of like part 8. I don't know. I actually like. I need to once I get there, maybe I'll change my opinion. But I always kind of like the boat stuff. I don't know. It's not like not my favorite thing in the franchise, but I've always been fine with like him being on the boat. I feel like you could have almost did a whole movie on a boat. I mean, you would have had to did a little bit more plot or like a little bit more in depth stuff on the boat, but you could have gotten away with a whole movie on a boat. Yeah, that's gonna do it. I mean, sorry, this video might seem a little awkward because this is my first time doing this, but let me know if you want me to continue doing this for each month. Like I said, I'm trying to. I want to do more actual movie reviews and talk about the movies themselves. I do also like, talking about the physical media aspect of it, but I also really like talking about the movies themselves. So let me know if you guys do want to see more of that. and if I should talk more about plot synopsis or stuff like that, or like more in depth on these movies. If you want to see that, the videos will be longer because of that. But if you guys are into that, just let me know. Don't want this outro to be too long. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.